For now, enjoy the below recording. Guys, full volume, please. Headphones on, dug deep into the ears. A clip too short. Huge news has been released in terms of iRacing and the progress of the project itself. Greg Hill has posted a dev blog up on the iRacing website talking about kind of things they have planned for the future, for the next season's build, things leading on after that. There's cars, there's tracks, there's huge graphics updates. There's a lot. There's an awful lot, and there's a cool bit to cover. If you're just relaxing, listening to this with headphones, you're in the car, chill out. If you can make yourself a cup of tea, do, because this is going to be a little longer one. But as always, I'll pick out the best bits for you. We'll have a chat. We'll go through it together. Have some fun with it, you know. But if you do want to analyze this yourself, the link for this is down below. So make sure you check that out if you do want to really get down and dirty with this and you don't want to miss a beat. It's cool the way they do this. I'm just going to mention that first. I mention that in every devblog video I do, but it's so cool the way they really make such a detailed kind of report on how the project is doing and how it's going, as they should with a subscription-based project. They kind of need to give people a reason to stay, but still, it's awesome. It's just really nice to have this kind of interaction and to be able to, you know, see a little glimpse into the crystal ball that is iRacing, to see what's coming in the future. And it's hard to do these dev blogs too, because you can only say stuff to your base, your customer base, once you know the content has reached a threshold of readiness. So once it's got to the, maybe on the line, that's when you can start to talk about it, because these are very interesting in the sense that you have to manage expectation, but you want to let people know what's coming. But you want to keep some surprises. So there's a lot of balls to juggle here. It's not just a post, so we got to respect that too. And guys, if you enjoyed the video at any time, scroll down there, tap your screen, and show a bit of love to that like button. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. What are you doing? Let's get to it. This is going to be fun. So introducing us into this dev blog, we have Greg basically talking about how 2024 was a cracker of a year. They delivered an awful lot of stuff. And because of how well iRacing is doing, you know, with the customer base, they've been able to heavily reinvest into iRacing in loads of different ways, starting from personnel and then working up that way. So that's generally what they're talking about. They're talking about that's the season 1, the 2025 build, is going to be released on Tuesday, December 10th. You'll notice that this season was a bit longer. That's to account for a leap year and kind of the way everything gets a bit offset with the calendar. So in general, that's it, but they're really excited to show us what they're working on. So let's get cracking. Season 1 of 2025, the cars. There's going to be supercars. There's the Chevrolet Camaro Gen 3 car and the supercars Ford Mustang Gen 3 car too. So they're both supercars. There were some that were released, but they did say that if you have purchased the Mustang GT and the Holden ZB Commodore, there will be credits issued if you've purchased them within a certain time. Let me see, within the 365 days prior release of the new cars on the 10th. So if within a year, there will be some issue. How much? Issuing credits. So not bad, you know. Here's a little render of them. Their renders always look so beautiful, you know what I mean? These cars look awesome. I quickly saw this and I thought they were GT3, and then they looked off a bit. And I was like, these don't really look like GT3. And then I saw supercars. So that's it. Another cool thing is the BMW M2 CSR. So they've been working with BMW on this. And not only is this car coming in and it's going to be acting as the iRacing road safety car, this car is going to be free from the get-go for rookies. So you can hop out, drive this car. They encourage you to get out and give it a crack. And I have to say, it really does look... Let's get a little zoom in on that guy there. Look at that. That just looks beautiful. So personally, the new GT4 car wasn't really much of a hit with me because that car is tough to drive. It oversteers as hell, but I haven't given it much of a chance. So I'm hoping this car drives a little different. I'm assuming if they put it in rookies, it's not going to be the hardest to drive. But like, hey, it does look like a gorgeous old car, and I really can't wait to give it a crack. Next up on the hit list is the Acura NSX GT3 Evo 22. So they've been working with these teams to make the NSX GT3 Evo, and it's 520 horsepower, 3.5 liter. This is going to be another addition to the GT3 class. They have this here down at the bottom here. I think, would you look at that for a bit of scroll wheel action? Here's the seat from the car. You're not going to be seeing too much of that, but there it is. And anyway, and it looks well worn. Classic race stuff. Spoiler alert, we have the Ferrari 499P. What a bomb of a car. This car has really done a bit of work now in real life. And there's Antonio Giovinazzi. I believe this was in Le Mans. This won Le Mans, this did. So yeah, this is going to be joining our now 16 car deep endurance series, as well as the BMW M, all the prototype cars. So there's gonna be a new family of cars there, with the Ferrari being added in. Just another reason for iRacing to put their hands in your wallet and just say, "Come here, give me that." I have to say, it won't be too hard to get that money off me for this car, because the 499p, I've been wondering why it's not in iRacing so far. So really looking forward to that. 2025 season 1 tracks. Got to remember that my camera's up there blocking the way. Don't want to block it all for you, but hey, let's get to it. So they have Truxton Circuit. This is meant to be a very, very fast circuit, almost one of the fastest circuits in England. So it's built on an airfield. And oddly enough, they do mention something here that it includes a fully drivable infield airstrip. Save your explorations for local testing and private hosted events, please. So maybe you can actually go on the runway and do some drag races, or who knows, something like that. But this track really does look cool, and they've put a lot of effort into the curbs. I know we're mad about our curbs and all, but they really do. For the details that matter in iRacing, yeah, you may not be able to see it like this, but, when you're driving over, to know that everything has been individually done and kind of, it's not just copy and paste. There's a bit of love put into this. We really like that. They were using some drone technology as well here, similar to what they did at Cadwell, to really make some nice terrain all over the map, to make it a real, a proper track, but not only that, a real map. So really, really cool. Hussett Speedway is coming, and so is New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This is a refresh of that track. I don't do much oval, so Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I'm not going to delve into it too much. I'm sure it's going to be great, and if you do oval, I'm sure you're going to have a ball. So, diving into 2025 Season 1 new features. Now, this is where iRacing, they just never cease to amaze. So, debris refresh. They're talking about how debris can be on the track and stuff like that. How the track, is very dynamic in that state. And they're really talking about, getting dirt, getting gravel, getting stuff like that actually just on the track and moving with how the track is moving. So here we have a picture of a car that's come off and has left some dirt on the track. It's flung gravel, and this may have to be cleaned up by cars, or if it's on a section of the track that's not driven on, it'll stay there. And if you're the first to drive over it may reduce grip. They also go on to talk about, for example, the shoulder of the road along the Mulsanne Straight at Le Mans is littered with debris in real life, and racers avoid it. In iRacing, it is pristine and has led to unrealistic lines. Debris refresh solves this problem. So that they're talking about the main straight on Le Mans, and if you notice that when you go off of the main straight, there's that real bumpy section, you can drive on it, and if you want to go 3 wide or 4 wide, you can. But the thing is, there's no debris there, so there's no real reason not to go there. You don't even lose much time by driving on that. But they're saying that, over the course of a race, that area of the track is going to get destroyed, filthy, and it will not be a desirable place to drive at all. And they're going to make that reflect in the simulator. So debris refresh, welcome it with both open arms. A quick note on AI behavior improvements. They say they want to make their AI drivers feel more like real life drivers. So they'll be doing extra different things. Loads of just little changes, I assume, that we won't be able to see, or that are maybe difficult to articulate, but when you race, you'll notice them. One they do mention is that they'll flash their headlights at you, let's say if you're in multi-class racing, in a racing appropriate way. So not in a mean way, but yeah, AI behavior improvements, that's always welcome. Tire model enhancements. So I'm going to read this one for full, because that's pretty handy, the tire model. That's important. That's what connects us to the ground and lets us go. So the tire model enhancements. Our latest release-ready tire version will be added across the GTP class and LMP2. Work is also underway to add this tire to NASCAR Cup and later on to oval cars. The benefits of this significant tire model evolution include primary benefits. Improved dynamic response. They feel more like real tires. Whenever you first load them, they respond quickly. As you sustain loads, they soften up and then you can lean on them. They feel much more in sync with your driving inputs. With previous tires, you might have felt like you were waiting for the tires to respond. This is much better now. We'll have to see this for ourselves. I'm hoping it is as good as they say it is. Something different is always nice with how the tires kind of work with the cars. So definitely want to improve that. But I know the tire model in iRacing has just a wee way to go, because compared to some other sims, the load up and how you actually hold load on one side of the car on certain tires, it feels a lot different, and there is a little bit left to be desired in iRacing. So it's nice to see that they're working on this. And in general, if you have a concern about iRacing, assume that iRacing are already working on it. Like, when everyone's bashing graphics, know that they're absolutely cooking up a 4-course meal in the background when it comes to graphics, which I think there is a part in graphics here. So Back to tires. Secondary benefits of the new tire model enhancements. Degradation, introducing a new degradation mechanism. The long-term conditioning state, the tires tend to decondition as you run, which reduces grip. This is a great tool as we don't need to rely on other mechanisms like temperature and cure that tend to feel quite bad as grip goes away. Second is compound. We are running a more realistic, grippier compounds that feel more in the track whilst still producing appropriate grip. So there's more of a feeling, still there's no extra grip. It's just all down to kind of the feeling and how you can connect with the ground and how the tire connects with the ground. So that's awesome. Number 3 is construction. We are using more realistic, softer constructions as we're not trying to create a dynamic response in the tire with super stiff carcasses. That's awesome. So it's nice to know they're all over the tire model enhancements. They say, note that this is our newest and most advanced release-ready tire model, but work never ends at iRacing. Dave Kamer, Terence Groening, and the physics team have been hard at work on their next tire version, which we expect will be a revolutionary advancement in iRacing tire modeling. More info is available below on ongoing and future developments of this update. Series redesign. Our UX team, designers and web developers have been hard at work redesigning and streamlining some of the most heavily used and important pages on iRacing. The series pages. The model-based page, the pop-up, is gone and the replacement is more expandable for future functionality and is also permalinkable. Nice. So for the graphics engine enhancements, again, I'd like to read this out in its entirety because that is something that iRacing has been kind of lacking, and a lot of us are looking forward to, more futuristic looking graphics, or maybe even some would say kind of coming along with the times. It's iRacing's graphics have been leaving something to kind of, they've been leaving a little bit to be desired recently. So let's see what they're cooking. Greg says, we recently shared the exciting news that our stacked graphics team have begun the incredibly important and extensive task of building a new graphics engine for the iRacing sim. This engine will transform iRacing graphically and in terms of performance. Big expectations there, Greg, just saying. However, that will take some time, and it is not our intention to leave iRacers without graphics improvements between now and then. We are super excited that Season 1 will include a significant improvement to our specular lighting model, where we have refined our environment map filtering to more closely align with our PBR lighting model. We've also improved math, which formerly led to a result that was less realistic than desired. Previously, the reflected scene was both too bright and too blurry. Additionally, we are no longer rendering specular into the cube map. This has led to shaded areas appearing too bright lit and even shiny. The combination of these changes help bring new life to iRacing's models and environments. Take a look at the screenshots to see for yourself. Note how the orange color of the IndyCar pops with clarity never before seen on iRacing. Note that the cladding near the movie theater sign and how it comes to life and interacts with the sky and light. Note the sky imparts far more impact both on the world and the car in the brighter Porsche GTP scene than it does with the darker one, which is the old lighting. Additionally, we had made an effort to correct the overly strong influence of the color yellow on our rendered world. Now, through our more advanced lighting, the remaining inaccurate hue will be addressed, and we're really excited about that. That's cool. So here's some pictures they've showed. You can see small adjustments. These are much, much welcomed. Again here, small adjustments, but highly, highly, highly welcomed. Bump start. This is cool. We'd hoped to have bump starts when we debuted the GTP race cars. However, it's a small feature concept, but far more complex when it comes to implementation the iRacing way, a true physical and mechanical simulation of the process, the systems involved, and all the nitty-gritty details required to make that happen. With the Season 1 build, bump starts have been added to the entire GTP fleet and will support, and they will debut in December. For now, enjoy the below recording. Guys, full volume, please. Headphones on, dug deep into the ears. A clip too short. Season 1 2025 will include a lot more than I've shared above, but we can't cover everything in this format. We'll save some surprises for the release notes, which we will drop as we get closer to December 10th. So guys, that's it for kind of the Season 1 devblog. What's going to be discussed now is the ongoing / future development of iRacing. I'm not going to go too deep into this. If you want to check this out for yourself, you can. I may cover this deeper in a separate video, but this is exclusively more so for the the upcoming update. But in general, there's going to be new Sim UI launched, which is amazing. Just take a look at this screenshot. This grabs you straight away. It makes you think that it should have always been like this, which is just, it looks stunning. And the thing about the iRacing UI is it looks extremely, extremely dated, like super dated. And then when you see something like this, it's just, that's how it should look. New in-sim UI release candidate design. So this is something that it could look like. As you can see, they take a lot of inspiration from current people who offer, why am I missing this? Overlays. People who offer overlays, you can see that the safety rating is visible, the I rating is visible, the manufacturer is visible, car number, position, yellow flag popping up here next to a name. That's always excellent to have. Incidents, lap, last lap. You can cycle through here. Here you have your inputs looking a bit more modern as well. The delta bar is looking a bit more modern. I don't like it though too much. I think we can just maybe tone back a bit. That's like when people discovered bevel and emboss on Photoshop and then they used it on everything. I'd like a sleeker design than this, but hey, whatever. Mirror looks a bit lit. I like that. The black border is gone. And down here, the telemetry does look pretty cool. So it's nice that they have this. I hope they have a bit of customization in it as well, because having to pay money for overlays is just ridiculous when it could be done in Sim. So I love it. Future UI functionality exploration, dynamic maps, customizable UI, open multiple black boxes, modern look and better organization, new garage and utility pages, telemetry in Sim. Yes, so you can have your telemetry and see the lines of your throttle and brake in the simulator. You don't have to go to another company for it. Improved admin interface and interactability, and more. So have a look at this. These are some of the black boxes that could be available. Here we have the relative, we have comparison, we have the chat, we have race control, session timer, safety, performance. We have your time just in a simple clock. Lap times, voice chat. Here we have the driver in focus, which is a really cool one. Playback, which is looking neat. And we have a track map, including a weather radar and stuff. And here is the telemetry down below, showing what gear you're in and the revs. Really, really, really cool stuff. That's awesome. And I like to see this kind of improvement and innovation within the sim. So love it. Talking about the graphics, they did say that they just highlight they want to build the engine themselves. And here's some screenshots below showing the progress in the area of specular lighting, night lighting, and the world debut of iRacing shown in a deferred renderer instead of the forward rendering path they've utilized for the past 2 decades. This is a big deal in bold and underlined. The future of graphics in iRacing is frankly thrilling for us and will transform iRacing for years to come. So I have to say this is after and before specular lighting. So this is after, before. It looks absolutely stunning. It's very, very interesting to see what they're doing here. All I know is that iRacing does need a serious update to see how this lighting works. Because when it comes to video games and that kind of thing, the way light interacts with things, that's kind of a big deal of how it works. The first image of iRacing using deferred lighting. So it's not a lot, but savor it, enjoy it, and it's coming to a track near you. Physics development. They say Dave and Terrence and the physics team have been improving the core physics systems, emphasizing force feedback and our tire development. Ultimately, the project will result in the release of V10 tires across the whole service. The first time we've mentioned a tire version number in years, but double digits is noticeable. Improvements will include double precision physics calculations, better force feedback, better contact patch modeling with more slices and handling of state heat conditioning per slice, better tire shape and differences with how temperature builds and wears across the shape, better tire compound modeling, a better grip model that will help with multi-groove and polish. That's cool. Better model heat buildup and tire memory. Better moments. These are the torques or twisting forces that the tires create and have a big impact on what we feel through the steering. The result of all these efforts have been a significant step forward in the tire modeling in iRacing, and we are all very excited about focusing on these core systems. So here's kind of what it looks like behind the scenes. This is obviously when it's touching the ground or leaning in a certain way, and all these different lines interact to, in ways you don't see, but you get to feel. And this is, the blood, sweat, and tears that iRacing puts in to make it one of the best simulators in the world, or what they're trying to do. They also go on to talk about single player career mode, race control, and save game. They do discuss some future content, which you can all check out down in the link below, but that doesn't pertain to kind of the close part of this news. Greg signs off, says, thanks, see you out on the track. And as always, we hope you enjoy the preview, screenshots, and media. Greg, we do. We really, really do. So here's some more screenshots of the new in-sim UI release candidate design. You know, it looks amazing. It's about time they kind of moved away from that old menu thing, and seeing this just makes absolute sense. I want this released now, but we may not. You know, just more nice screenshots of how things work, how things look. NASCAR refresh fence upgrade example, you know, all the little details of all these little objects. You know, more buildings. This is the seat from the NSX. Here's the curbs from that track in England that's being released. Here's that airstrip that you're going to be able to drive on, which is pretty neat. And that's it, guys. Well, that was quick, huh? But it was enjoyable. It's nice to go over these dev blogs. I've known a lot of other subscription-based games or kind of games that go on a long term, and the developers are not as hands-on as this. They don't show us enough passion like these guys do, and to keep us involved in the development process, because at the end of the day, it is a subscription-based model, and we need to know what we're looking forward to. We need to know we have reasons to stay. And that's it, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like. Let me know if you're still watching by dropping a pint down below for me, and I will see you guys in the next one.